Hi, it's Barb with Studio B. Today I'm going to be painting a cute little lamb laying in some grass, but before I get started with that, I just wanted to offer you the free instruction guide to this cute little painting, the winter trees with cardinals. So all you need to do is sign up below and the instructions will be sent to you in your email. So let's get started with our cute little lamb. I'm going to be using very basic colors, blue, white to start, and I'm going to fill in my background with some color to start first. I do have my image traced on to give me a guide where he is to go. I am very ready for spring. I have a visitor. Hey Sophie, everybody should have a visitor in their studio. Thank you. Alright, get a little more paint out here. Just getting some titanium white out. I'm going to soften this blue up here a little bit. If you wanted to gray out your sky a little bit, you could just add a touch of, let's see, a contrasting color would do it, or you can add a touch of black to your brush just to give it a little bit of gray. But if you want to be bright and bold, go for it. The process of painting is relaxing and calming to many people, including myself. I love to paint. So I'm going to leave some of this white showing up in the background. I'll give it that slightly out of focus look. And it doesn't have to be all the same brush strokes, brush direction. You can do some crisscross brush strokes to blend it and give it that little bit of wispy look. Won't be long and it'll be lambing season. I always think they're very cute. Okay, so that is in. So we're going to say he's sitting on a little grassy hill, and there'll be grass at the bottom here and kind of a bit against his face. You can add a little bit of greenery right here to show landscape behind him. Let's see, I could grab some green, or I could make green, which is with our two primary colors, blue and yellow. And I do have a little bit of white here, so it's going to be a muted green. And this is just blocking in some paint here. We could say this is part of our underpainting. Acrylic painting's all about layering. layers and layers and layers of paint. Okay, let that dry a little bit. Now I'm going to put some layers of paint on our little lamb's body. Now you don't want just straight white. You need to think of the depths, like the skin underneath the wool. So like in his ear, a lot of times you'll see a pinkish look. And we can use our primary colors of grabbing some red and just adding some white along with it, if you do not have any standalone pink paint. So that's what I did. I used my red with some white and mixed it up quickly. So I know the inside of his ear is pink, but I'm going to go ahead and go all the way to the edge. Some of this will be covered with his curly fur. Now let's see. I know I will also need this color for his nose, the nostril area here. And some of this will be covered, so I'm just going to kind of block it in for now. There'll be a little bit of his skin showing around his eye. So I'm going to put a little bit there. This eye is going to be covered mostly with the grass, but I'll go ahead and just kind of outline that area. For his bodies, so in the spring their wool hasn't grown much, so it would be pretty pink tinged under there. So I'm going to add more white to this, to my brush with the pink already on that. I'm just going to go ahead and fill this part in. The fur on the face be thicker, so I probably won't put all of this pink there. Oh, I still had that blue on there, so that's giving a tiny bit of a purple tint, which is perfect because purple can show shadowing. And so down here, this is where his little leg is. Comes up with his hoof. So I'm going to add some purple right there, bluish tint, purplish. And that will help us with shadowing. Now I know a lot of this will be covered. Oops. I'm just going to use all those colors I have on my brush already. This is just the underpainting, so it's okay. Doing a loose painted, do painting loosely. That means this isn't going to be like a photograph. We want to be able to tell, yes, it is a little lamb, but it's not an exact representation. Okay, I need to get a little more white out here. I kind of change up that pink there. This side I'm making a little bit lighter because it's near our light source. And our picture, his other ear's off the page, so that's okay. We don't need to worry about that part. Hope you are enjoying this. I know I am. Okay. So that is our underpainting. Gonna let that dry a little bit, and we can start making him look more like a lamb. Okay, it's getting there. We're gonna work on his eye while the rest of it dries just a little bit more. So I've got this little brush that I'm going to fill in a lot of this eye area with the black. I'm gonna go ahead and do a very fine line of where his lashes and eyelid edge is right there. This eye is gonna be pretty much in the shadows, so now I got dark color on this with this little brush. I'm gonna not go straight black though. I'm gonna make it kind of a charcoal grayish color. Come in here. Oh, that's a little bit too light. Come in here and to the dark areas of his nostril. So this is his nostril. And then down here, so he has, kind of comes to a point here. And then there's the upper lip. And then the mouth is right here. And then some of this will be covered up with some of his fur. Lazy little grin, like he just ate. He's nice and cozy, laying in the sun. Okay. Come back and do this corner here. This is white. And this part won't even show. Okay, I'm gonna use the fan brush. Just barely moisten the bristles. Make sure we are really recording, because that would be sad if we were not. I come up here and start laying in the fur on the tip of his ears, just lightly tapping. I'm okay if I pick up some of this other color. I don't want it straight white. Now I want to go the direction of the growth of his fur. So it's coming up away from the eye. And like there's a space here. There's kind of a divide. And there's the little, kind of like a little divot right in here. And his fur appears to be going up away from the bridge of his face. The bridge is in the center. Now with the under part of his eye, it's going away from center. We can let some little straggles show up in there. Now this side is going away from center, the opposite direction. Oops. And we go underneath. Right now it looks like a great big mess, which is okay. Grab a little more white. I added a touch of blue to this because I don't want it to be bright white right away, and there got a little touch of black on there too, so just gonna go with it. Because see, then you can add your little tip of just white on top, and it will show areas that appears like more texture and a little highlight from the sun. So this is his face. I'm gonna kind of make a barrier of where his face is. And then this is the neck. I'm gonna let some of that background underpainting show through. Now this is his leg. So I'm going to do different kind of brush strokes to help the eye see the change there. And I'm going to add a little more of our other colors in there, right at the edge. It'll help me not lose the place there. Grab a little more white. My picture reference, this part is very hard to see what's what. So I'm just going to give a suggestion of the leg there. Okay, well, we're coming along here. This is an easy, keep it loose, don't get too caught up in details kind of painting. I'm gonna add a little more highlight up here. There we go. I'm going to let some of that dry. Next we'll put in our long grasses. So for our grasses we're going to use the same colors. Add a little more red here. I'm going to add a little touch of yellow. And we'll throw in a little bit of brown. I'm going to go ahead and use my little angle brush. Okay. Some white with some brown, touch of black. It's kind of a muddy, warm gray. Some dark ones in the background. This one's pretty much goes over that eye. That's why I didn't get too fussy about it. Some of these pieces of grass look like it's new growth with some old dried up grass pieces from before the winter came. Adding just a touch of that brown to my brush. Add a little yellow, get some warm brownish pieces. Now he's laying in his little pasture. Add some varying greens here. Oops. I'm recording, it's always have to stop and make sure I'm recording. And as you can see here, I'm just kind of mixing as I go, getting some variations. Cozy little room. Darker contrast. This is where the focal point is going. So I'm going to put some of this contrasting darker grasses right here, because that's where our viewer's eye is going. That sweet little eye and his pink little ear. Actually, it looks kind of like a pig ear, but that's okay. We get it. He's cute. Warm up some green here with a little yellow. Layers, layers, layers. So I think we about got him in there. So we could put some different shading in here if we wanted, or we could just keep it like this if you're comfortable with, if that's where you're at with your painting. This is a good spot to stop. Maybe have a little bit of a long piece coming in here. Not covering the whole leg here, but warm that up with some yellow. There, we're gonna say he is done. There's our little spring lamb sunning after he just had his meal.